Literally every single time I've tried to film this video, something has happened that has stopped me. Yesterday, my alarm didn't go off, and then this morning I woke up because I have to go to work at 9, and I got up at 6 to get all my stuff done, try to film it before I have to go to work, and then I realized that it's not light out at 6 in the morning anymore, so then I had to wait. And now it's 7:48 and I have to leave for work in 30 minutes and we're gonna try to film this video. But then my landlord just texted me that there's someone coming to do work on our roof at 7:30, so 15 minutes ago, and that there might be some noise. So, welcome back to another video. I'm going to talk to you guys about my 2021 goals and also some new habits that I'm going to try to implement to be happier, more productive, more successful in 2021. I can't believe it's 2021. I have my notebook. I have all my goals written in here. I just need to find my page. I like setting goals that are more about like my voice, hello, more like a mindset or like things that I hope to accomplish throughout the year, or like lifestyle changes I hope to make throughout the year. Not so much like a New Year's resolution. Like that's not as much what I'm into. If that's what you're into, then do it. For me personally, I think that if there's something that you want to like change, like a New Year's resolution, then you have all year to do it. You don't need a date to do it. It doesn't need to be the new year in order for you to set goals to make yourself happier or make lifestyle changes that are going to increase your quality of life. So with that said, I have 3 main like overarching goals that I want to accomplish this year / work towards, and then I just have a few other habits, some that kind of tie into those goals. First goal, I want to work to be more informed about what's happening in the world. 2021 showed me that I have had the privilege of like living in the dark of a lot of things, and that's not something that I intentionally did, but sometimes like turning on the news and like looking at stuff would cause anxiety for me, so I would try to like avoid it. And this year I really realized like how unfair that is, and like I shouldn't get the right to just like ignore what's happening because it causes me anxiety. Like these are real issues that we're facing, and the world is really crazy right now, and I want to know what's going on, and I want to be able to talk with my friends, and I want to be able to like inform you guys about things that are going on and have like my own strong viewpoints about everything. Not that I didn't have like strong viewpoints before. I like knew what I believed, but I just wasn't as like with it as I wanted to be, and this year showed me that, and so that's one of my goals. So with that, some things that I'm doing in order to try to be like more informed about what's happening in the world, just like on a daily basis, I'm listening to NPR up first every morning on my way to work, and if I don't work, I'll listen to it while I'm like making my bed or whatever. It's a 15-minute podcast by NPR, and it goes over the top 3 news stories of each day. So I really like listening to it because it gives me like an overall idea of just like the biggest issues happening right now. So obviously right now it's a lot about coronavirus, but then also like it was talking a lot about the election in Georgia, which was really interesting to me. And so that's one thing that I'm doing and I really am enjoying, and I highly recommend you find some news source that you trust. I really trust NPR. They have a ton of really good podcasts. They have one called Code Switch that I'm also that I'm also listening to right now. And so that is my number 1 activity that I'm adding into my everyday life, a new habit, listening to NPR every morning. And then I'm also reading a bunch more, and so these are self-help books, history books, literally anything. I think that being informed doesn't just have to do with being like informed about what's happening in the world, but it has to do with being informed about like choices that you're making in your everyday life. I'm reading books about starting businesses and being a woman entrepreneur and just all sorts of things that I'm interested in. I just want to be a more educated, more informed person, and I want to be like really aware of what I can do to make myself successful. So I'm finding that through books and also more podcasts. I will link a doc with a bunch of podcasts that I'm interested in, either listening to or want to listen to, as well as books that I have found really interesting. And I'll link my book list. I've already finished one. I just finished Everyone Should Be Feminist. It's a really tiny, super easy read, but I highly recommend it. It's also a TED Talk if you want to see it in that version. So I'll link all of that below. Goal number 2 is to say yes more, which is interesting because I think for some people it should actually be to say no more. But for me personally, I'm really good at saying yes when people ask me for help or when other people need stuff from me. And so that's not what this goal is oriented towards. This is more oriented towards saying yes to activities and opportunities. And so that's something that I really learned in 2020. I've always been like a really compulsive planner, had everything like laid out for myself. And so this year when shit hit the fan, I like didn't really know what to do, and so I just started like seeking any opportunity, and I started saying yes to anything that was exciting to me, and it's really gotten me into a place where like I'm super happy. And so it's something that I learned from last year that I want to be like more a part of my everyday life. I think it's easy to get lazy and to like not want to go do things when you have a lot going on, especially like for me, I have anxiety, and so when I'm anxious about something, like I don't want to do anything, and that only makes it worse. And so I really want to like push myself to just like do every opportunity that comes my way. And so I want to say yes to more activities. I also don't ever want to let like fear stop me from doing something. I am someone who like wants to be really good at everything, and so if I'm like trying something new, sometimes I don't want to do it because I don't want to fail at it, and I hate that, like trait in myself. So just saying yes and not worrying about looking stupid, being bad at something, failing at something. Like everyone is new when they first do stuff, and so no one's going to be great at it, and like I just need to accept that for myself. And so that's my other goal, is to say yes more. I feel like you can interpret that however you want, but it is something I think like very important to add into your lifestyle, is like being open to opportunities, because if you are shutting down opportunities, then you might miss out on something great. And I definitely learned that this year. My third goal. So this is something that I learned in school from a book I'm reading. It's called Decisive by Heath and Heath. I will also link that below. And it's a book all about like how to make effective decisions in your life to like make you happier in your career and make you happier in your personal life. And it just goes into details about like everything behind decision making. This is something that I learned in school from a book I'm reading. It's called Decisive by Heath and Heath. I will also link that below. And it's a book all about like how to make effective decisions in your life to like make you happier in your career and make you happier in your personal life. And it just goes into details about like everything behind decision making. And so one thing that it talks about is identifying your core priorities. So something I really want to work on this year is identifying my core priorities and figuring out kind of like in my everyday life, what are my main priorities and what are my secondary priorities? And then also like in my goals and career goals, personal goals, what are the main priorities and what are the secondary priorities? So the way they explain this in the book is A-list and B-list priorities. So they tell you to write down a list of your priorities and then go through it and categorize like what is A-list and what is B-list? What of those needs to come first? And then you can do this in goal setting, or you can do this in an everyday to-do list, like what are your priorities? And pretty much what they say is to look at those two lists, and anytime you're doing a B-list priority when you could be doing an A-list priority, like check yourself. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing that, but it means that you need to be aware that you are doing a secondary priority when you could be doing a first. I'm not sure if I made that clear or if that made sense, but if you want to learn more about that, you can read the book. I'm burping, I need more coffee, my mouth is dry. Also, I'm sorry that this lighting is trash. I have nowhere in my apartment that I can really sit, and I'm trying to be far away because my roommate's still sleeping. So I'm like in the back corner of the house. And then another thing that kind of falls in line with this is now that I'm like actually posting videos more often, I'm taking this like pretty seriously. I still do it fully for myself and because I enjoy making videos. I like looking back on them. But I do really appreciate all the support that I've gotten. And so with that, like I want to make sure that like I have a message that I'm trying to say, and I have lists of ideas and concepts and things that I care about and things that I'm passionate about and things that I would like. Oh my god, I just spilled my coffee everywhere. And in my journal, no. And part of my problem is that I have a lot of things that I'm interested in and a lot of things that I'm passionate about, which isn't a problem. It's a good thing, but I want to figure out like kind of what my core priorities of my channel, of my Instagram, what they are. I know that number one for me is that I'm enjoying doing it and that I'm creating content that I want to look back on later in my life, and I'm just documenting my life. That is the number one reason why I do this. Those are my three main goals, and then let's talk about habits. Number one, I already talked about this, but listening to NPR or some sort of a news podcast each morning is a really good habit to get into. Second, I'm trying to read every morning and every evening. For school, I have a lot of reading that I have to do each week, so I try to separate it by like I'll do school reading in the morning and then like personal reading at night or something. I've realized, I know everyone says this, and it's like this isn't any groundbreaking information or anything, but starting my day off and not looking at my phone helps me a lot. It just makes me feel like a better person. I kind of get to wake up and start my day how I want to start it, not how other people are starting it on social media. So reading in the morning, I have really enjoyed. I've actually been waking up like at like 6 every morning, so I have time to read before going to work and stuff. So highly recommend reading in the morning. And then also, everyone says this, but reading at night, better than being on your phone at night, helps you fall asleep easier, yada yada. You guys already know that. Next, this is something that I've always done in my head, but I've never done it in a structured way. And I have a video coming soon about like productivity and organizing your life, kind of. But setting weekly goals. So this is more of like little challenges for myself each week. I actually kind of got this idea from Kiara because she'll do like monthly challenges for herself, and I like that, but I would rather do it on like a weekly level. So examples: no dairy for a week, no alcohol for a week, no buying coffee for a week, no eating out for a week, or like trying something new each day for a week. Just like really small little challenges. Also change up your routine a little bit. So I'm gonna start trying to do that each week, having a new goal for myself. Stay tuned for my organization video because I talk about planners and other like productivity tips for the week, and this kind of fits into that, but it's also a habit I'm trying to start, so we're putting it in here too. Next is tracking my spending. This is a habit that I have tried to get into so many times and I've just failed at it. Like I'll do it for a week and then I forget about it. And so I know that people have talked about this a lot, but I downloaded Mint and it actually is super interesting, really helpful to me. It helps me keep track of all the bills I have to pay and just like what exactly I'm spending my money on. All right, and then this final little one, it's a habit. It's also kind of a personal goal, so I don't really know how you want to categorize that, up for your own interpretation, but I'm trying to do one thing each week that is like outside and completely for me. So right now I am currently working 2 jobs, I'm in school, and I can very easily get like overwhelmed and feel like I'm like kind of drowning in work. And so it's easy for me to have like my days off from work and just like sit on my computer all day and like try to do school and try to like catch up on a million things. And I always have 1,000 projects that I'm trying to do, but I know that like what makes me really happy is when I'm able to like go hiking for a day or go skiing or even just go up to a cabin for a day, or like really just like anything that's like outside for me makes me feel a lot calmer and really happy. And then I come back and I'm like ready to work from that. So a habit I'm trying to get into is take one of the days I have off, even if it's just a morning, to go do something outside. All right, and the electrician is knocking at my door, so I gotta go. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Sorry this is ending abruptly, but I need to go answer the door. At least we got it filmed, so that's good. And I will see you guys in my next video. Stay tuned for productivity, and then also my next video is a week in my life. It's the first week of 2021. So exciting things to come, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.